hear me super well. It's kind of late at night. I didn't want to shout so the whole street can hear me blabbering on about woo-woo stuff. But hello! I thought I would do a live video of what it looked like for me to bring some messages through in case anybody else was interested in how that works and how I do that. So I know a lot of the time I come on and I already have a message, I've already meditated, I've already downloaded something, and then as I'm communicating that, it starts to come through me more and more. But you don't see me so much like in that trance state or just kind of channeling as I pull cards and things. And I've been feeling a little bit unsteady, just kind of, you know, I feel like I need to conserve my energy, but then I remind myself that actually doing stuff like this recharges my battery. And so I wanted to dispel this idea that everything has to be curated or you have to be ready all the time. Sometimes we just want to jump in and do the thing that's good for people and good for ourselves. And yeah, so here we go. Even if nobody watches this, I'm super excited to bring some messages through. Oh, good morning, Dennis in Ohio. Hi, Don in Colorado. It is, would you believe, 9:41 here in Brisbane town. Almost had a 144. Okie dokie. So I'm going to ask Spirit, what is the collective up to in their journey at this point? Can I please have a card showing me where the collective are up to? And I don't always use cards. I've actually had a lot of guidance not to use cards anymore. Grand Rising, Los Angeles. 369. Girl, she's fine. It's the most spiritual way to answer that. Yeah, I don't always use cards anymore, but because my gifts are getting so strong that sometimes the cards can just kind of get in the way. But when you're a bit tired and lazy, they can be fun. I love shuffling. How good is shuffling? Just a fun experience. Oops. Got a card pulling right out. All right. This is our energy right now. All right, that makes sense. So this is card 77. Okay. Alethea. Look at those roses. Okay, so 77, obviously that's like double crown chakra, and we're getting this like doubleness coming through in the card with light and dark. There's a balancing act happening here, and that makes sense why a lot of people like me are going through this kind of, you know, like another shadow work phase almost. It's like, hey, I can see you. Is it Drashika? Yes. Beautiful people. Hello, Philippines. Hello, my friend in a wheelchair, but for not much longer. Blessings, everybody. So, yeah, it's like there's this balancing act coming up, but I know for me personally, it's like my inner child really wants to speak and be seen, but it means that all of her wounds are coming up as well. So it's like we're trying to walk these two paths at the moment. We're trying to like stay high vibe, stay focused on the mission. Remember that we're powerful beings, but also remember that it's okay to cry and be grumpy sometimes and have stuff that comes up. And that's why it's going to be so important to reach out. But with card 77 coming up, like that's double crown chakra. That's like two messages coming through. And it's like we're being asked to follow our guidance and take the hard steps. Oh yeah, I'm born on the 7th and I'm a life path 7. So I'm all good for the 7s. So yeah, it's like we're being asked to follow our guidance and continue on our path, but at the same time have some compassion for those older versions of ourselves, have compassion for the things in our lives that aren't meant for us anymore but serve their purpose and had their time. You know, it's a time to maybe blur some of those shadows and maybe see the ways in which you were somebody else's really hard lesson. You know, like I'm going through like a karmic relationship ending at the moment, and it's really, really friggin' painful. And part of the healing of that, I think, is recognizing that like they were my karmic partner, but I was their karmic partner as well. Like I taught them a lot of really hard lessons not always in the most loving way. And so I'm definitely trying to find my balance here and not seeing people as heroes or villains, but just realizing that Earth is a place of duality. Hello, friend. Hit like, I will. 7 years old. What are you doing up? You better not be in Brisbane. Yeah, Mercury is in retrograde. So yeah, we're in this energy of like duality where we're walking as two paths at the moment. All right. Let's have a look into the future energy a little bit next. Let's have a look at where are we coming up to on this path. And then I'm going to ask, what advice does Spirit have for us? All right, so what are we being faced with at the moment? What are we coming up to? And what message would be helpful for the collective at the moment as they walk this learning phase of duality? 5 of Cups, yeah, okay. So we got this very cute kid crying that he's broken some cups. So, like inner child healing here, huge inner child healing theme coming up. Being able to look at some of the damage and the stuff falling away that's happening in your life and just having compassion for yourself, realizing that you're not perfect. You know, every act of rehabilitation is going to involve some pain and discomfort and destruction. It's like if you're redoing the garden and you want to put in a bunch of trees and make it really lush and beautiful, you're going to have to dig up the soil and make some worms very unhappy. You know, you're going to have to rip out some weeds or old plants or disturb an existing ecosystem for that. And sometimes, especially for those of us who are real like people pleasers and really wanted to just make everybody happy, and those of us who come from planets of like unconditional love or have that really like white light angel energy, we just want to be here to serve other people. And so when we have to step on people and things on the way, it's just heartbreaking. And there's this inner child who just wants to make everybody happy and believe in fairy tales, and they're still real, but just like nurture that inner child and be patient with that inner child. And you may also have children in your life who are going through a hard time at the moment. You know, think about how can you love them, and in doing so love yourself. You know, maybe the kids in your life need a big hug. All right, see you later. Happy school pickup as I talk about kids and inner child healing. All right, a message from our guides then, please. What are we being asked to remember or heed at this time? Thank you. I love a jumper. Breath of the cosmos, my will to thy will, micromanaging the universe. Wow. I've never pulled this card before. Breath of the cosmos, my will to thy will, micromanaging of the universe. Okay. So immediately I'm reminded that there is no task too petty for you to call in help for. You know, if you're like, I really need a car park, I trust that my guides and my angels will deliver me a car park because I am going to be on time for this thing. Call in help. So, okay, parking angels, I surrender, I'm going to let go, I'm going to sit in the car idle, and I'm going to let the car park appear for me. And it will. You know, if you need to petition your angels to, you know, help you find something online faster and faster and faster. If you need to petition your angels for, you know, a little bit of extra time for something, do that. Just remember the law of attraction when you're asking. You're like, hi angels, I'm really ready and excited for more rest. Thank you for opening up some space in my day for me to go have some sacred time and have a walk. I really appreciate it. I know you have my back, and I know that it's all going to be okay. Thank you. And just let the divine micromanage. Take your hands off the wheel a little bit, and don't be so attached to how things are going to work out. Just trust that they will work out, because the divine has a higher perspective, and your guides and your angels, they can see around the corner, they can see people down the street, you know, they can make miracles happen. So don't get too attached to having to fix things or having to be a certain way. Allow yourself to just breathe a little bit and let the current come in and move you a bit, you know, conserve a bit of your energy, and just trust that you don't have to go hide and hibernate, that you don't have to go completely throw everything out. Okay. More information, please. What am I gonna pick up? Feeling this one. Okay. What's the purpose of this universe? What are we moving into? Why this discomfort at the moment? Okay. The one. Alright, I knew this reading was going to end up being about this. The one. Okay, you're coming into a period of wholeness. And see, this is card 30, so we've got like the Trinity going on here too. This is unification and integration on a personal level, but also with God, the divine source, and the people around you and the beings with you. Okay, sometimes it's the triple flame, sometimes it's the Trinity, sometimes it's like the yin and yang polarity. You know, there's always that 1, 2, 3 energy when we talk about oneness in its most basic forms. So oneness in an internal sense, you know, a few of you have already heard me talking about how the divine masculine is awakening on the planet. That means it's awakening within us as well. That means that we're being invited to take aligned action, to move and take steps forward out of that receptive yin energy. So we allow the universe to help us, we allow the universe to give us messages, and then we step forward confidently. And that can be uncomfortable for a lot of us, because a lot of us have been cultivating that yin energy. We've been students, we've been waiting with arms open, been learning how to listen, we've been learning how to trust ourselves, and we've been learning how to be comfortable in the abyss, in these liminal spaces. But what's happening now is we're being more summoned into that creator energy. The universe is calling us out and saying, it's safe now. Put your pen to paper. Put your video out there. Make that thing. Teach that course. You know, plant that seed. It's safe now. Do this. We want you out there. We want you shaking things up. We want you creating and being seen. And I think for a lot of us, it's like, ooh, it's been a long time since I've been in that energy, and I'm scared I'm going to burn out or do something wrong, or I won't be letting the universe act too much if I'm acting. So it makes sense there's a bit of discomfort here, but we're not going to learn unless we let go of our perfectionism and just trust that the universe works through us, and that we don't have to be perfect, and that just learning and having intentions to do the best that we can is going to be enough. You know, and like we're still babies on this earth, you know, this is an unfathomable shift for Earth. No one has shifted a collective and a planet quite like this in the entire universe, as far as I know. Like, this is super new for us. And I know even on a soul level, there's this aspect of like, wow, I really want to get this mission right. And that can be why it's so uncomfortable too, because you're not just letting go of your human ego and attachments. Like, your soul has a huge lesson in this too. Your soul is learning that it is divinely loved and precious and perfect, even when it makes mistakes, even when, you know, the blueprint doesn't work out perfectly checked off the way that you designed it to be. You know, we create something else new. Think of your life as a piece of abstract art, and just let yourself move, let it flow, let yourself be yang energy, and trust that divine love is still within you. So keep moving forward. Then I'm also seeing like the sense of oneness with God. So as you get this internal integration, you're also going to be activating like that God self, that creator energy. You know, I'm a life path 7. That's about healing the 7th chakra, the crown chakra. And so much of that journey is about letting go of your skepticism, having faith, opening up that channel. Look at the street light and the moon helping me out here with the visual aid. Opening up your channel, trusting that you're guided, trusting that you're connected with all that is. But then that channel becomes your crown. It becomes I don't even need to channel, because I am the universe. I am God. I am part of all of that, and the universe moves through me. And ironically, it brings you back full circle, where you're almost not channeling at all. You're just being yourself and trusting that everything's perfect the way that it is. It's funny how spirituality and spiritual practices and esoteric stuff brings you back to just living every day. I know a lot of Eastern practices are like that anyway. Way of the peaceful warrior. So there's this unionization happening where you realize you don't need to reach out to your guides, you don't need to reach out to God, you don't need to see anything as separate from you. You're realizing that it all exists here in the now and within you. And that sounds like a lot of fancy words, but when you actually start embodying that, it's a beautiful feeling, and I am getting glimpses and tastes of that all the time, of just feeling everyone within me. And as your empathy increases, you're going to get this too. I know a lot of you are going through like Kundalini awakenings. It's not always quite as fun as like all of a sudden, boom, like I feel all this energy and my third eye opens and my life changes. For a lot of us, it happens like in stages, right? Like I feel it building in like my root and my sacral, and I feel it come all the way up to my heart. And it's taken about a year for it to get from my heart to my throat chakra now. So, I can feel the energy rising, and I'm just starting to feel it coming up here. So, oh, I love hearing about everybody just living with kindness and making that their mantra. I'm a freelance editor as well, and edit for kindness is kind of one of my life philosophies at the moment. But as we go through this Kundalini awakening, what happens is you become so aware of your auric field, and your empathy, like your empath abilities, just like skyrocket. And it can be really disorienting, because you're actually like aware of people in your field when they're not physically with you. And yeah, that can be really fun and really freaky, and that was like such a head spin for such a while. But once you get able to tune that and able to read that and starting to differentiate all the colors and build a vocabulary for it, so to speak, it becomes so clear that people are with you all the time. You can think about someone and summon them to you. You can imagine giving someone a hug and they feel it. You can say to someone, call me, call me, call me, and they'll call you. And apart from being a fun party trick, it's just more evidence that we're all connected and we're all one, and that it all exists within you. So we're getting this unification of ourselves, unification with God, and then unification with other as well. So with the other human vessel in front of you. And one of the things that was becoming really, really clear to me as we get this divine masculine awakening is that there will be a lot of unions on the planet. So unions between like divine counterparts, twin flames, unions for like family members coming back together. Like as the energy balances, we become better able to see the other as ourselves, because we become a balance of masculine and feminine, and they're a balance of masculine and feminine. And when we all come together as whole beings, we're better able to accept each other and recognize ourselves in the other. And that self-love that we get from that sense of wholeness means that we can love other people fully for who they are and the part that they play in our lives. The other thing that I really needed to bring up with you that's been coming through really, really strongly is, again, that third eye opening. And so the third eye chakra, or the first eye chakra, I'm not sure if this is super common knowledge, but it represents the yin and the yang. It's that balance of masculine and feminine, light and dark. It's polarity made whole, made manifest in one point. Some people say that that's like our starship, our God portal or something. And our godness is reached through our third eye. I personally feel like the heart is my portal to God and the divine. But having said that, my third eye isn't fully open yet, so maybe I'll change my mind on that down the track. I gotta change my mind, because that's where the first eye is. So what's happening is the divine masculine energies and then the divine feminine energies start to integrate on the planet, which I think is at least a couple of months away. The divine masculine is still coming online, and it'll take us a little while for us to all really let that manifest and let that fully activate within us. A lot of us are already taking steps and enjoying that, but for a lot of us it's like new territory, and we might be resisting it a bit. So keep moving your bodies, keep listening to yourself, and keep having love and compassion for yourself. You know, see yourself as the fool, let yourself be silly and imperfect, and just trust that you're always loved no matter what. But in a couple of months, what that energy is going to do is it's going to integrate. You know, we're going to get that divine feminine and masculine merging, and so what that's going to do is open up the third eye, right? Why is this exciting? Because I channeled a few weeks ago that heaven on earth is the veil between realms disappearing. It's being able to see your loved ones, being able to see your angels, being able to see through dimensions, being able to see that we were never separate. If we're getting a global third eye awakening, tell me how that isn't heaven on earth. That is not the veil dissolving, being able to see that actually there was no veil except for our own limitations as we collectively agreed to be part of this matrix. That makes this golden timeline, this heaven on earth, so much closer than I realized. I thought this was going to be like on the other side of 2027. It already happened. Yes, thank you. I'm going to get back to that, Kelsey, because I got some other spoilers for you. But yeah, like, okay, so basically, oh, thank you so much, Divine Black Panther. May all of your generosity return to you 100-fold, and may it be so much fun and unexpected, and may you celebrate every day. That's really sweet. So what this means is we've just got to keep thinking about all the beautiful things in our lives that we're ready to see. Like, what are you ready to see? You can set parameters with spirit. You can say, I don't want to see anything spooky. I'm going to keep my vibe way above spooky. Don't freak me out. And spirit doesn't want to freak you out. They don't want to just cause more blocks and get you to close your eyes straight back up, right? They will protect you. They will bathe you in white light. They will banish all the creepy, gross stuff away from you. And you're not even going to be afraid of it anymore. You know, like, I've been getting jump scares lately and just not even flinching or reacting. And I think that's a great sign that my nervous system is really zen, and that I'm really feeling that protection. And I even had a moment, I got up in the middle of the night because my kid woke up crying, and as I got up I was still in that half asleep state, and I could actually see the bubble of white light around me. I could see it with my eyes, and I was like, you know, like your logic center still isn't really turned on, and so I'm just like accepting it like I'm in a dream still, and I'm like, oh, that bubble white light of protection I put around me, there it is, I can see it. And I'm like stumbling into the kids' room, and as I went in, my boys were in bed together and they had a big bubble of white light around them, and as I moved towards the bed it stretched out to make room for me, and I climbed into that bubble with them, and it was just so natural. It was just so beautiful and easy. I was just like, oh, that's the bubble and I can see that. And so trust, friends, that what you're going to see is how safe and protected you really, really are. You don't have to worry about the creepy stuff. And honestly, people have been doing the clearing work for decades now. People have been going in and clearing the energy of spaces, like letting the wayward spirits go. Like, even the friggin' demons are getting bored. I'm not even joking. They're like, these people are giving me enough BS to feed off. I'm just going to go to some other realm. Yes, thank you so much, Kelsey. I'm safe, secure, loved, and adored. And like, one of my mantras this past year has been, it's safe for me to be seen. It's safe for me to be seen. I cleared my acne up just by repeating that in the mirror, because I knew that I didn't want people to look in my eyes. I didn't want people to see me. And so without changing my diet or my skincare routine or anything, I just started repeating in front of the mirror, it's safe for me to be seen, and boom, gone. Hot beauty tip. But I think what's going to be important moving forward is going to say, it's safe for me to see. It's safe for me. Kelsey cracking me up. It's safe for me to see the truth. It's safe for me to know the truth. I trust that this is my journey. I trust that every hiccup has been for my highest good. I trust that I can handle the truth, and I trust that my soul orchestrated this lifetime and picked out these challenges and lessons for me, and I trust that I can handle anything that I see, and I trust that I'm protected. We are too important not to be protected. You know, the angels didn't send us here and nurture us through all these dark nights of the soul and all this crazy stuff going on just so that it could be like, oh, let them have a mental breakdown now because they saw some creepy astral monster. Like, that's not going to happen. They didn't bring us this far just that we wouldn't be ready. Oh wow, a possum just came onto the deck. Hello, beautiful. Are you going to come sit in my lap and be my best friend? Oh, he is coming down. Okay. There's a ringtail possum. When its tail is ringing. What do possums mean? Could someone look up what does a ringtail Australian possum mean medicine-wise? Oh, just let pretty babies. Wow, that was distracting. Oh, hello. Oh, hi, Theory. So, what was I saying before I saw the possum? Oh yeah, our guides aren't going to let us see anything scary. We're not going to see astral monsters. We're going to see possums. And Rian Lockhart at Moonstone Witchery, she gives this great tip for third eye opening and being held and feeling safe in that. She's like, if you get a sense that you're seeing something, you know, like flashes out of the corner of your eye or just something in the room, instead of immediately assuming the worst, assume it's an astral squirrel. Like, that's just an astral squirrel just running through the house. Don't even worry about it. Can't hurt you. And yeah, I think that possum was just reminding me of that because we don't get squirrels in Australia. So thank you, Rian. If you don't follow her on Moonstone Witchery, she's got an amazing podcast on Spotify, Facebook group. Okay. Third eye awakening. You're safe, you're protected, you're loved. This is happening. You're seeing stuff, you're not going crazy. Apart from these odd glimpses where I've seen like spirits and that big white ball of energy, mostly the way this has been coming online for me and one of my associates. Hi, Henrik. Ah, nice to see you. Kelsey's got some great affirmations there. Follow her in the comments. She knows what's up. Great mantras. So the way it's been coming online for me and a really awesome friend and associate of mine, who I'm going to spam. By the way, I'm just going to be spamming all the awesome people I know as I go. Like, I don't make commissions or anything. They're just beautiful people all around me. But Laurie and Michelle Douglas are going to end up spammed a lot. But, you know, he and I are both kind of, his third eye is way more open than mine. But we're both seeing, like, these webs. Like, these literal, like, silver, rainbow, white lights. And it's so funny my business name is Line of Light. Because we're literally seeing these, like, lines of light in the sky. And I've been walking around for weeks, but especially the last few days, thinking that there's a spider web in front of my face. And I've been trying to bat it away. And I think it's a hair, and then I thought it was something stuck in my eye. So I'd practice with moving my eyes around and seeing if it moves too. But no, he sees it too. It's just like this strand of light. And sometimes I can pick it up on camera. And it's not a lens flare because I don't see it with cameras around either. Like, I see it without cameras as well. As we're walking down the street and it follows me around. And what I think it is part of like this crystalline grid that's connecting us, but I think it's also part of this like crystal matrix that goes to other dimensions. And I know this sounds a bit out there, but one time I was meditating and I was just intuitively like imagining being in this really abundant mindset, and I wanted to imagine like drawing all of that like abundance and safety and stability to me. And what I saw in my mind's eye, it was like this crystal matrix overlaid in front of everything else. So like I could still see the room, but it was like this transparent crystal, like white, rainbow, purple grid over the top of everything else. And it was like scales overlaid, just slightly open or ajar, or like doors slightly open, just stacked on top of each other, like just endlessly. And as I embodied a certain frequency, it was like sucking things from those doors in that different dimension to me. And it was almost like I was seeing the realm of the unmanifest. And I've read in a book, I think it's Cosmic Cradle, but one of those books that's about like between life memories. There are people who have memories of being these like crystal beings in this like unmanifest crystal realm where basically they hold all the desires and intentions of everybody, and they watch it like go down to earth and go down to physicality across the universe. Like they basically watch over this crystal realm, and it's like I was seeing that, and I was seeing like things become manifest as I anchored it into this reality, or rather like magnetize it to me, and then I have to take more aligned action. So as your third eye comes online, don't try to make sense of things too quickly, because there's a lot to be seen, and it doesn't all look like human beings walking around with a, you know, a trench coat and a cup of tea and everything. Like, it might not look superhuman. It might be like me, like I saw a rainbow on the grass the other day. Like, it was just a full-on rainbow just sitting on the grass in front of me. You know, and I'm seeing webs of white light. I'm seeing balls of white light protecting people. And sometimes I'm also seeing like auras behind people's backs. So yeah, like it might not always look obvious to you, but just trust, like go with it. Like, look, my third eye is opening. Isn't that beautiful? I'm so grateful for this experience. Alright, cool. I've been rambling for a little while, and I better wrap this up before my kids inevitably wake up. But quick recap. Okay, there's this time of like duality. You're channeling a lot of energy right now, and you're going through a bit of a shake-up. Your inner child is wanting some love and healing and attention. Be patient with yourself. Give yourself lots of hugs. Let your inner child breathe. Be silly. Dance around. Go out into nature. I am teaching a university class tomorrow morning, and I'm finally going to break out the tutu I got from the thrift shop, and wish me all the bravery in the world to wear this tutu to class, because I really want to wear this tutu. Don't let the tutu sit in my closet forever. Yeah, ask the universe for help. Set your intentions. Say, I am always protected. Thank you. Let me see only that which is meant for me and which is propelling me further on my journey and into my purpose. Understand that you're coming to the sense of integration. And it means, in some ways, coming full circle back into that yang masculine energy. I know a lot of you have probably lived lives of burnout where you worked really, really hard, and it didn't always seem like the best thing for you. Oh, thank you, Don. That's really, really sweet. Thank you for being part of this energy that allows me to channel and bring through these messages. Like, I really mean this. It's like I get little hits and downloads, and then as I join in with you, it's like you fill in all the puzzle pieces. The whole picture starts to come together. And I couldn't do that without you guys. It's like our collective will is given permission for this huge, like, you know, akashic disclosure going on. So thank you, Don. Thank you, mate. Every dollar be returned to you 100-fold, and may it be so much fun the way it comes to you. So yeah, there's this integration process coming, and it might feel like a replay of old times, but it's like an opportunity to do it differently. It's like, cool, now you get to go and create and be really excited, but create and take action from this place of joy rather than necessity or obligation. And I have had on good authority from a good amount of spirit guides for different people, so I'm taking this as a message for everybody. I'm hearing a strong yes there. Spirit is rewarding you for taking the easy road. Spirit is not going to invest in your dreams if it's too much work. If it's going to burn you out, if it's going to exhaust you, Spirit is not investing. And that's because they need you. They need you to be having fun. They need you to be channeling like this joy and the will of the universe. This is your permission to be a bit cheeky and a bit lazy. Like, look at me, I'm in my pajamas, I haven't washed my hair, I'm sitting on my deck, I'm literally under a fluorescent light, there's no ring light even set up. You know, like, this is the laziest possible setup ever. And yet Spirit's like, yeah, go Kelly, because you're not going to burn out doing this. You're going to keep doing it, and that's where they need us right now. They need us doing this work and not worrying about whether or not it's perfect. So if you've got a song in your heart that you want to share with the world, don't wait until you've got the best equipment or the best stage, or, you know, you're in the best mood. You know, I mean, try to stay in a high vibe place and act in a place of alignment, But if you're not feeling the highest you've ever been, don't freak out and judge yourself and go, oh no, I can't do it, because I did that for a week already. And spoiler alert, turns out you needed to hear my more downcast message anyway. It all happens for a reason. So, you know, let yourself take some shortcuts. Let yourself not overthink it. And, you know, I heard someone else say in a video, her channel's Moon, she was saying in a world where AI is just everywhere, you know, just being yourself and being human is going to be so refreshing. It's going to be like, yes, a human being, you know, like those pixelated MS Paint memes are going to come back in style, I reckon, because it's just so much fun, just like being a kid and letting go. We've got all the technology in the world and like so much abundance in the world too, that means that we can do everything perfectly. But in this world, to be able to go, you know what, instead of perfectly, I'm going to do it soulfully. I'm going to pour my soul into it, and it's going to be fun. It's going to be natural. It's going to be effortless. And afterwards, I'm going to feel more recharged than I had before I did it. It's going to fill me up as well. Like, that's the stuff that Spirit's going to invest in. And, like, let yourself be amazed by how quickly it takes off. So don't be afraid of that yang energy. Remember, it's the fool. It's the silly person having a go. We love that. And, like, look at our collective. Like, we're all a bit dorky, right? Like, excuse me if someone watching this is actually, like, you know, a French supermodel actually on the cover of Vogue. Like, props to you. That's awesome. You're super welcome here. Feel free to give us some tips. But, you know, for the rest of us, I think we're all just, like, kind of dorks, right? Aww. Thank you. Thank you, Lee. That's super sweet. May it be returned to you 100 million times. You heard that, Spirit. 100 million times $5. Do you believe in God, our creator? Good question. I believe in higher powers. I believe in oneness. I believe that every single one of us is God having a fever dream. Oh yeah, and this is that spoiler I was talking about to Kelsey. So I've had regressions back to source. It just happens pretty naturally. Funnily enough for me, it's really easy for me to connect with really, really ancient cosmic memories, more so than it is to connect with like earth memories. Like for some reason I just have have fun getting your son ready for camp. Look at all of us parents of sons. Isn't it wonderful having sons? Yeah, it's way easier for me to remember like the creation of the universe than it is for me to remember just like a human past life. So that's been a really interesting learning experience. And I think that's because I've been repeating so many patterns for so many billions of years. I think I'd learn by now. But when I do go back to that place of source, how I see it and how I experience it, and I realize this is filtered through this human body and all of that too. So whatever your connection is correct. But it really is that pink cloud thing that people experience. It is this feeling of just completion and love and being held. For me, it was like feeling like being held by a mother and like as a baby, and just feeling so safe and like limitless. So yeah, it wasn't like a big person with a white beard saying like, I am God and I love you, Kelly. You know, it's more like it's everybody smushed and stuck together was my experience of source. And I realized as I'm able to connect back in with that, especially while I'm hanging the washing on the line, that we're always there. We're never not at source. Like, we are source having a dream. And the funny thing, because time doesn't exist, like all of separation is an illusion. It's all just a big game source is coming, as source is talking about. And we talk about, you know, reintegration and coming back together and knowing who we are. But that's just another part of the game. And it's, you know, sometimes I wonder, well, what's the point of that then? And to be honest, sometimes I even feel a little bit lonely, so I'm sure I don't have the whole picture. But as I have these moments where I realize, like, we're still in source, we never went anywhere, it's like this big spoiler, and I'm like, oh, we already won this game. We already put source back together. Like the light already won, truth already won, love already won. We're just remembering the experience. That's what our life is. We're just going, oh, that's how I did it. That's how I became the best me I could be and worked with people and inspired people. That's how we all realized that we're one and the same and opened our hearts up to each other and brought the universe together in this perfect in this perfect wholeness. So yeah, spoiler, we already won. We already won this game. That's how we're on the highest timeline. And there are so many timelines, but the highest timeline always wins. The other timelines always end up collapsed into the highest timelines. And so it's almost inevitable that we're going to end up there, but it's fun to be on it now. But yeah, we're already there. Source already won. Source is already put back together. We're already now in the loving embrace of Source, safe and protected. And like I said, that brings up some existential angst for me, because I think, well, if we're all one, does that mean I'm actually alone then? Like, am I this big Source blob in the multiverse, hanging out by myself, creating imaginary friends, like my finger talking to this finger? You know, is that what the universe is? And yeah, I haven't quite made my peace with that yet. If you guys, discover the memory, the understanding. And it's like such an amazing game, and I'm a student, and I love learning for learning's sake and telling stories for the sake of telling stories, right? So we, and like I get caught up playing The Sims, or I used to before I was really in my purpose and wanted to do that in real life instead of playing a video game. But, I understand the joy of just like role-playing and playing games and being in your own head and being alone but creating these characters. So I do understand Source. But, there's something I haven't quite put together yet. And I love this idea of God as being someone external to me, because it makes me feel safe and it makes me feel like the responsibility isn't all mine. But sorry, as far as I can tell, so far you're God. And I'm God, and we're all fingers of God going like this. Hello there. So if you have a different idea, please post in the comments. I love all of this. I really loved Bernard Heisch's book. Is it called The God Theory? It's about creation through subtraction. So it's basically this idea that like all color that we have only exists because we put light through a prism and we divide it. We only have sculptures because we chiseled something away out of it. We only have shape and form because we have space and darkness. Our bodies are mostly filled with empty space. We pretty much don't exist. We're basically a combination of ones and zeros. And so it's basically this theory that God is everything, and what we know only exists because we pulled it apart so that we could look at it more closely. And it's a really compelling theory based in like legit physics. Oh, thank you. Peace and love too. From my deck in Brisbane, from me and the ring-tailed possums. So yeah, I found that really, really compelling. And, some people think that idea of oneness can be a little bit heartless. And I can see how it feels like a very impersonal theory. But remember, like, Source is everything. So that means Source is also Big Sky Daddy God, right? Source is also the Divine Mother. Source is also you and your higher self. Source is also all of us glued together in one big mass, right? Like, Source is everything. So you can't be wrong about your idea of God. Like if you saw God as like big piercing eyes in the sky, well, that's how Source manifested itself for you in that moment. So, I hope, DMT, I would like to try that one day. I hear that's, pretty life-changing. I, actually wonder how I'd go, because I'm pretty tripped out without anything. Like, I'm a mum, I am still breastfeeding, so none of that fun stuff for me just yet. But yeah, I meditate, and I see like mandalas, and I see everybody's like literally connected, and it's all freaked out. I've had some friends say to me, that's what you see when you're on like DMT and mushrooms and everything. And I'm like, oh, cool. Maybe that's because my mum smoked a lot of weed when she was pregnant with me. So I was born stoned, pretty much. Sorry, Mum. Alright, I'm going to pull a gratitude card to wrap this up with. And I've rambled for 44 and 49 minutes. 49 minutes and 44 minutes and 49 seconds at you. Keep going is our gratitude message. It says, focus on progress, not perfection. Isn't that what I was saying? Yes, thank you, Big Gaz. Lol, indeed. Oh, you're welcome, Frosted Fluke. That's a cool name. Yeah, just keep going. Enjoy the creative process. Let yourself be a kid again. You know, I know a lot of us didn't get the privilege of being nurtured when we were like beginners as kids, and sometimes that light gets snuffed out a bit. But think about the way in which you would want to raise your children, to be able to see something they created and go, wow, I'm so proud of you for giving this a try. I'm so proud that you did anything. You created something. There was nothing here. Hey, Marco. And now there's something. You did this, and it's cool, and you're getting better every day, and I can see the beauty and intention in what you did. Love to you too, Florida. Matt in Florida. So yeah, like just enjoy the process. Just have fun and love yourself and pat yourself on the back. And you know what? I should practice what I preach and go, oh, I'm glad you love being a kid. I love being a kid too. And I love having kids because they remind me how to be a kid too. I mean, I've had a couple of moments where I thought, if I did not have kids, I may never have played on a playground ever again. I may never have gone on the monkey bars ever again in my life, or gone down a wet slide, if I did not have kids and I was not encouraging them to do it. So thanks, kids, for teaching me how to be that way again. Oh, so much to be grateful for. But yes, love yourself. Pat yourself on the back. Do you believe in spiritual warfare and witchcraft? Absolutely. Everything you do is witchcraft. Everything you do is communing with the universe. Witchcraft is just doing it in a very conscious, intentional way that acknowledges that energy works even without your active physical participation. So like, you know, say you want to manifest a new car, for example. You can cast a little spell with, you know, corresponding herbs and a toy car and dip it in candle wax or whatever it is that does that for you. And you can say, universe, please bring me a car. What you're doing, like there's a whole lot of correspondences to do with the energy, and professional witches can explain this better than I can. But what you're essentially doing to the universe is you're proving that your intention is real. You're saying, look, I have this hope and I have this dream. I'm going to start actioning this in the physical world as a demonstration of my commitment to this. It's an aligned step. It is the same as then subscribing to, say, a car magazine that's going to give you like discounts or something. All of it is a way of saying to the universe, I am serious about this. I'm taking the first step, right? And you can do that in a lot of different ways. Everything can be a spell. Like I was trying to find out who my real dad was, and I had like almost nothing to go off except for a name that my mum gave me, which turned out not to be my dad's name. Sorry, I'm like picking on my mum a lot today. I love you, Mum. Thank you for all my lessons. I'm so excited that I got to find out that miracles are real, because you set me on some wild goose chases. But anyway, so I did a DNA test. I know some people aren't sure about those, but anyway, I did one anyway. And I didn't really think that I would find my real dad, but I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna put the energy out there, take the first step. And I wanted to know about my spiritual lineage and heritage. You know what happened after I took the DNA test? My maternal grandfather found me through my editing website. Turns out he's a family history buff. Helped me put together my whole mum's side of my family tree, which helped me eliminate the maternal matches from my paternal matches, which helped me then go find my father's side of the family. And I did find my father's side of the family, and they are amazing and they are beautiful people, and like my cousin is like one of the best people I've ever met, and my aunt is the best person, and my other cousin is the best person, and their kids are the best people, and it's just been this immensely healing experience. You know, it's better than winning the lottery. And I didn't learn this from a DNA test. The DNA test was just my spell. It was a way of saying to the universe, I'm serious about this. And then it came in a back door. Then it went, hey, look, a grandfather found you through your editing website. It had almost nothing to do with the DNA test. So why did I give you this whole idea of like what witchcraft is? Because if you're a bit scared of witchcraft, like if you're concerned that, you know, you could be swayed or there can be evil entities around and all of that, you know, like fair enough, don't do it if you're afraid. There are lots of ways you can commune with the universe and set spells. Like literally everything is energy. In terms of spiritual warfare, yeah, absolutely, that's happening. But the less attention you pay to it, the less hold it has over you. Like trust your intuition. Like if you're getting weird symptoms and stuff, like go, the best thing you can do is go sit in the sun. Hey, if you don't have like a bunch of selenite and salt and like cleansing stuff and shamans to come and like banish things away from you, go sit in the sun. Go put your feet in the grass and sit in the sun and say, thank you, angels, for clearing my field. Thank you, angels, for saving me again. Thank you, angels, for making sure that I am purified and that I'm aligned with the light of God. There ain't nothing on this planet stronger than the sun, okay? Get in the sunshine if you can. If you're listening to this and you're freaking out because you're like, oh my God, it's overcast where I am. The sun is still coming through. You know, go connect with nature. And just go trust that you're loved, because the higher power is looking after you. They've got this, you know. You don't have to be like, oh my God, someone thought about me with too much envy and now my arm is haunted or cursed, or now stuff's going wrong. Like, I'm sure somebody cursed me or something, because every night that I went to brush my teeth, the toothpaste would fall off. This was every single night for like 6 months. I was like, this would be such a funny curse if someone's like cursed me with this. And I just couldn't make it stop until I went and like threw my toothbrush out and got a new one and went and said like, okay, very, very funny universe, I renounce this, go away, bad energy, and it stopped. But anyway, that's there's your psychic self-defense 101. Laugh it off, get in the sun, trust that you're protected, and don't pay it a lot of attention. It can be very fun to get caught up in the drama, but just like anybody attacking you, you know, if there's someone gossiping about your work, like, ignore them and let your actions speak for themselves, you know. They got nothing on you. The light's already won, remember. Like, you are so much more powerful than they are. So yeah, that's, if someone's like literally having someone, you know, like leaving knives in their front yard or something, I'm sorry if my advice was a bit too flippant, but you know, the harder they try, just the more beautiful you are, you know. Just don't even worry. Anyway, I hope that helps. Thanks, Pan the Hermit. I am super obsessed with this song called Hermit the Frog at the moment. It's super fun. Alright, keep going. Don't be loving the Scottish summer. Oh, I need to go to Scotland. Okay, thank you so much. Keep going. Don't be a perfectionist. Perfection is getting in the way of progress, and Source just wants you to move. Source thinks you're perfect and that everything that you're doing is perfect. You don't need to do more than just be yourself and take steps forward and just trust that it's going to work out, even if you make some mistakes. That's good. Mistakes are fun. Mother Nature can heal us. Yeah, Gaia does a lot for us, and nature and the universe does a lot for us, and it's all conscious and living too. You know, you can trust that they got your back. All right. Good night, beautiful people. Thank you so much for your love. Thank you so much for your generosity. I do genuinely feel it. Thank you for channeling and bringing through these messages. Thanks for being here, being conscious, loving, living beings. I feel you guys. Okay. Good night, everybody. Rainbow kisses. How do I stop a live? Do I just hit the X? Bye. And